This lesson in the statistics unit will be on histograms and frequency distribution tables. Now we've already organized the president's data by putting it into our calculators and sorting it and making a stem plot. But let's look at a different way to organize the data. Hopefully you still have it in your calculator. A frequency distribution table will group data to help better organize it. Here is a frequency distribution table for the age of each president at their inauguration. Notice here I have grouped the ages 30 to 40, 40 to 50, 50 to 60, and so on. But more importantly, X is equal, less than or equal to 30, but only less than 40. So that means the president age can go up to 40, but not actually equal 40 in this first group, right? It can go up to 39.9999, but not equal to 40. The next bin starts at 40. That will help us with continuous data, although this data actually is discrete because we're talking about individual ages. So the way you group data can be called classes or groups, or on something like an Excel spreadsheet, bins. And the most important thing is that you keep them equal widths. Now we can look at our data and ask ourselves how many presidents were between 30 and 40. If your data is sorted in your calculator, it's real easy. Now this one's easy, it was 0, and I actually don't even know why I put that bin there, but I just wanted to give a number of bins there. So now if we look at 40 to 50, and I mean equal to 40, but less than 50, there were 9 presidents, 25 presidents that were 50 and up to less than 60, then 10, and 1 for Trump. Notice that this adds up to 45, which is the number of presidents that we've had so far. You can also find relative frequency, and again, that's just changing the numbers into percentages, and it's going to be the number, in this case, 9, out of the total number, which would be 45. And that's equal to 20%, and we can fill that in like so. And again, notice just like this added to 45, now that we're dealing with percentages, this should add to 100%. So let's first look at our frequency group, which is right here, and come up with a histogram. There are individual videos for 84 users and Inspire users that you should watch after this video, but let's look at our president's data using smaller bins. So here's my same president's data at inauguration, age at inauguration. I've just changed, I've just changed the bin widths here. So now notice I'm 40, equal to 40, less than 45, equal to 45, but less than 50. So they're now widths of 5. And you can see I have both the frequency table here and the percentages or relative frequencies here. And if we add this column up, it adds to 45, just as if we add the percentages up, it adds to 100%, or in this case 1, since I left them as decimals. Now a proper graph of this as a histogram is here. Notice I've got a title, President's Age at Inauguration. My y-axis is labeled frequency. My x-axis, in this case, is age. And then notice how the numbers are written on the bottom here. My 40 to 45 occurs here. My 45 to 50 occurs here. But what does this mean? The 45 written right here, and let me write that with a little note there. My 45 right there, that for this bin represents everything up to 45. So if you want to actually include the 0.45, it's going to be included in the bin to the right, right? This bin right here is 45 all the way up to 49.999. The 50 is actually included in the bin to the right. So if I were to jump ahead and look at this bin right here, this includes 65, right? And goes all the way up to 70, but does not include 70. So it goes up to less than 70, right? The 70 would be included in the bin to the right. We also talked about our other column, which was relative frequency. So instead of a frequency table, you can create a relative frequency table. Notice the graph looks exactly the same as our frequency graph right here. The only thing that has changed is look how my y-axis is labeled. It's now labeled either percentage or relative frequency, and look at the numbers here. They're no longer counts, but they're percentages. Otherwise, everything else is the same. A relative frequency histogram is helpful when you have a lot of data points, right? Instead of having thousands here, we can talk about just percentages, or it's also helpful if you're comparing it to another data set that have different amounts of counts in them.